everybody, my name is Z, and today it's a very special day because it's not what I've planned for today's video. But this morning there was a pretty cool event. So Harmony 20 was finally released, and I am so excited and so pumped to discover it with you. So no tutorial today, we are just going to dive in this very new version of the software. Little shout out to my friend Colin from Onion Skin. Little funny story, like a lot of the ambassadors and MVPs and Harmony experts were like partying all day because of the new features, and then one of them was like, oh, where is Colin? And I'm like, oh my god, where is he? And I just went on Facebook and I was like, Colin, wake up, Harmony 20 just got released. But like, poor lad is in Australia. He was asleep all day while we were all gushing about the new feature. But hopefully he's gonna wake up and see all those amazing features. Just be patient. We were supposed to do this big discovery of Harmony 20 together. We planned it a month ago, but life happens and he could not make it for this part of the video. But it's okay, I saved his favorite stuff for last. So today we're gonna concentrate on drawing tools and like having fun with the frame by frame. And we're gonna keep the weird rigging things with like deformers and master controllers and all that super cool stuff for when I do it with Colin, because otherwise he's gonna be mad at me and hate me forever. Alright, so without further ado, let's dive in. So right off the bat, you can see that if you choose your brush, you can draw something. And if you want to redraw instead of like having to pull down that window and find the repaint brush, which I thought that was kind of annoying, now you can just go there and it's gonna repaint your stuff. That's pretty cool. So speaking of the brush tool, this is not exactly a new feature, but it got like revamped and it works even better. So the Centoline editor, the thing that makes your brush strokes act kind of like pencil strokes. So it puts this vector line inside your brush stroke, allowing you to move them. So that feature was just revamped and it's now better than ever. So you can delete points. And if you play with your points that are in the edges, well, your lines is very less likely to break, which is very great. So you know how I love to draw like little smokes and clouds and water and special effects like that. When you draw them with the brush, in the past you needed to like draw them and paint them afterward. And life is too short for us to do that. So now you can just take your brush stroke and go to here. And you have the autofill option. That's another smallish thing, but it's so great to draw. Like, I just love to draw with that thing. And that's not even for like closed shape. I love to just sketch with it because, it's gonna like fill in as you draw it. And I kind of like the looks that it gives to your lines. Gives them a nice sketchy look. I don't know, I really like that. That's pretty cool. Alright, enough with the brush tool. Now we're gonna go to one of my other favorite tools, the line tool. So for the line tool, in the past I made a tutorial about how to clean with the line tool because it's so damn great. You can click and then you drag and then you press on control and you can build your line like that. But that's for the past, guys, because now it's easier than ever to just do it without all the keyboarding with your other hand. So right here in the tool property view, you've got 3 new little icons. And by the way, when you open the software, this one is still on by default, so don't forget to remove it because this is a nightmare. Alright, so there is these 3 little things. This is the default mode. This is like the older one that we had. But these 2 new ones are pretty cool. So I'm going to click here. And I'm not touching my keyboard, I swear. I mean, you cannot see it, but just believe me. So if I click and I drag, and if I keep my stylus floating like that, as soon as I click, it's going to stop and make a curve. So click, drag, and then whoop, it's gonna create your shape. And you also get the S-curve right here. It works the same, you click and drag, and then the first thing you do is your first curve, and then you click, and if you go down, it's gonna create a nice S-curve for you. Another tool that got a little love is the pencil tool. So if I draw something with my pencil tool, I'm just gonna go get a nice texture, so that charcoal texture. So I'm just gonna go here and draw a little crown. And remember, when you press on control with the pencil tool, it closes your shape, which is pretty great. Little small thing again, you can go to drawing. You can convert your pencil strokes to brush strokes, which is not a new feature. However, now if I click it, I will not lose my texture. In the past, you would lose your texture applied to your pencil, but now it's just gonna translate it to a brush stroke. Another thing you can do with the pencil tool. So if you use the eyedropper on a pencil stroke, of course you're gonna get the color. But if you go here and you click again, we have a new eyedropper, and this is the pencil texture eyedropper. So it's for all these moments when you were like, oh, what texture did I use for that part of the drawing? Well, now you can just click it, and it's going to tell you right away what it is. Speaking of pencil textures, you can also go into the edit menu with the drawing, and there's like a button that makes you select strokes that has this pencil texture. Then again, small thing, but pretty useful, especially when you're trying to like move certain parts or just isolate just certain texture in your drawing. This is pretty cool. So if you're drawing and you want to erase, another cool thing that came out is that as I draw, of course I can press on O to change the size of my cursor. It worked with your like stylus nib, it worked. But if you got the eraser, it would not work. It would like switch back to your brush or something, I don't remember. But now if I take my eraser and I erase, if I press on O and I change the size, it will like acknowledge the fact that I'm using my stylus's eraser. And that's pretty cool. Then again, it's like, I think Harmony 20, in terms of like drawing, it's a small thing that seems like small, but they make huge difference in like your workflow. And I think we're gonna save lots of time with that new edition of the software. But the best thing so far is one thing that I really fought for. I was like, we need that in the software, just do it, so great. Because remember in the old video I made with the cleanup thing, and I was like, if you have a sketch, if I try to clean my drawing, be careful, because if you try to like snap, it's gonna snap to all the layers and stuff. But did you see here? It changed. The logo changed. It's now a little magnet, and if you click on it, you have so many choices. The best option of them all. You can now select if you want it to snap to all your drawing layers or not. And of course I'm gonna disable it because that's how it should be. And now I'll be able to clean my artwork without worrying if it's gonna snap to my rough or not, because it's not, because I disabled it. It's amazing. I don't need to go and lock all my other layers. I don't need to go into the drawing view anymore like I taught you last time. So that, I mean that makes my other video pretty much useless now, but you know, it's progress. I have issues when I write, but you know, I'm trying. Progress. Yes. And I am so happy that all these changes were made. And the last thing for today is actually a feature that is kind of new but also hidden. So I'm going to show it to the world. If you right click right here and go into customize, there's a thing if you search for stop. It's the stop motion keyframe mode. And that thing is insane. I'm just going to put it in my scene here. Gonna press on. Okay. So it's that little button right here. What it does is if I put a peg on my ZeBirdBrain head here, and I animate it. Remember when you would put keyframes on it, it would automatically tween. And if you didn't want it to automatically tween, you would need to go inside like preferences and then disable the stop motion keyframe, or enable it if you needed to. And then you would go on making your animation. And then, oh, but I want to add a keyframe here. Oh crap, I lost my interpolation. I need to go back here, get my preferences, and you know, it's so freaking annoying. Like it was one of the things I hated the most when I animated cutout. Just having to go there practically ruined my day, and I was like, I need to fix that. So here it is. There is a tool now that is called stop motion keyframe mode, and if you click on it, you'll get your keyframes out of stop motion. And if you unclick it and you make new keyframes, you'll get the tweens. So no need to go there anymore, friend. You can just click there. It's so easy. It's so nice. It's just perfect. So I hope you had fun, and I'll see you again next week with my amazing friend Onion Skin, and we've got something very great cooked up for you. And you know what? If it's not next week, it's gonna be in 2 weeks, because I've got so much more to cover. Because that was just the drawing tools, but we still need to cover animation, compositing. Rigging is gonna take a while because they've got lots of new stuff in rigging. So I hope you had fun, and I'll see you again next week.